And
So
like I
what was
said,
the biggest culture shock for you? So you grew up in a very small town in Texas outside of the Dallas area, as I understand it. So what was the biggest culture shock from going to small town Texas to LA? Because it's obviously an entirely different pace and
And what
speed.
year was that?
Yeah.
let's see, I moved from Red Oak. Luckily, going to Austin in 2008 definitely helped that jump. Had I not lived in Austin for 3.5 years, I think it would have been like a what the hell, what is going on? Because that's Austin's very much like a little mini LA in the sense of traffic,
Yeah.
parallel parking, which I still hate because that's we don't have to do that in the country. What is parallel parking?
Right.
And I moved to LA January 2012.
Okay.
So
Okay.
11 years now, which is crazy. But it was, and I lived in Hollywood kind of right off the bat. So it was insane how I was just thrown into it all. And I quickly realized how small the music world is. Like everybody knows everybody kind of thing. And I just kind of got thrown into it. It was extremely overwhelming, especially because I've always been a very quiet, honor roll kind of nerd, goth nerd. So I had to learn how to overcome that real quick to live in this world here.
I've noticed that a lot of my friends that live in LA, they are not bashful people, and they have no problem talking. And I have this theory, and one of my buddies told me that's exactly right. If you don't speak up in LA, you get drowned out and thrown aside. So you're constantly hustling, constantly talking. You might not necessarily be bragging about yourself, but you can't be a wallflower and get anywhere in LA.
That's 1,000% true. And even if we're tired, just like coming home the other day, we've just been constantly touring nonstop to where I'm just exhausted as hell. But then it's like, oh no, we have to go out tonight. We can't miss our friend's show. We can't not go do this. So it's constantly, there's just a million things that you have to do and be on for here. That it's like, oh, God, I have to put on makeup today? Shit. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
because going to a gig,
I hate that.
If you're in a working band who is looking for more footprint, or has a new product, which could be the same thing, it's a meet and greet.
Yeah.
You got to go. It's a 5-day meet and greet. Kind of like that's what Todd Latore calls the Monsters Cruise, 5-day meet and greet. And he's not wrong. So I've adapted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to go on the 5-day meet. Monsters of Rock. Same shit.
You mentioned when you got to LA, you joined up with the Iron Maidens pretty quickly, and you mentioned an original band. Was that band by chance Femme Fatale with Lorraine Lewis? Were you in that band at one point?
I was in that one too. Yeah. Okay. I started playing in that one probably maybe a year or two later, maybe a year later. But I had joined, it was a brand new band called Before the Morning. It was like a heavy melodic metal band, screaming verses, singing during the chorus. So
let's talk about the Iron Maidens, because it's one of those, I don't know if it's fair to say rare, but I'm going to go ahead and say rare. It's one of those rare tribute bands that's actually pretty damn successful and has an international following, which is extremely rare. Every town has their cover band or whatever. But you guys, you girls, tour plenty. You've been around for a while. You've obviously got the talent. Tell me, Iron Maiden, which is your favorite singer, Di'Anno, Dickinson, or Blaze Bayley?
Have to go with Dickinson.
Okay.
I have met Di'Anno, and we have played with him in London before. He got up and played 2 songs with us, and that was pretty awesome.
Really? Di'Anno got up and sang with the Iron Maidens?
Yeah, it was God, it must be 4 or 5 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah, we played in London, and he came up and sang Wrathchild and Iron Maiden, I believe.
Wow.
Well, and members of Maiden have actually been in the audience and watched you guys play before. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that was probably before me because the band has been around for about 21 years now,
Yeah.
which is crazy in itself.
It's hard for me, I apologize, to pinpoint who was actually on guitar in the Iron Maidens when legendary things have happened to the group. But yeah, but I have heard the pretty awesome stories.
Well, the fact that they've been around like that just proves my point that, I mean, a tribute band doesn't last 21 years unless there's an audience for it and there's some success along the way. So congratulations on that. And I assume you're still part of that. I think I saw you're doing some dates with the Iron Maidens at some point here.
Yeah. We've been so crazy busy this year. We opened for Accept on tour for about
I was going to bring that up.
Ooh, nice.
I talked to Wolf today. We're trying to get him on the podcast. So.
Oh, nice. That was that whole band. Just the nicest guys. We had so much fun. It was such a fun tour, and
they're funny too. Those guys.
We had so much fun. Between
Uwe and Wolf running around talking German the whole time, and then breaking into English and telling jokes. To Philip and Christopher, like, what? It made my head spin hanging out with those guys. Just the best people. I was so happy when I saw Linda's post about that announcement, and I was like, what? And then a couple of days later, what? So
we're a tribute band, and we're getting to go open for Accept in Europe, like
for legends.
Yeah, I rest my case. This is the point I've been making for the last 5 minutes. I mean, that's a very rare tribute band that can last that long, get that kind of pick up that kind of tour and have
Dave, it means you're badass.
I know, yeah, it does. Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of
what it means.
So thankful.
Tell me a little bit about, I didn't know this about you until I started doing my homework because I knew we were going to have you on the show, but you're quite an artist. You like to draw, and that was one of your first passions, I guess. And I saw a piece of your artwork on your website. It was I think it's a rose of some sort. It's a flower of some sort.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you got into that, and if you managed to have time to continue to do it, and if you've used any of your artwork on your music projects. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was my first love, was drawing. Basically anything that I can see, I can draw, and the more colors, the better. I started out I think my whole family is pretty artistic, whether it be music or drawing. My Nana is such a talented painter. So was my uncle and my aunts. So I just got these Prismacolor pencils. Somebody in my family gave them to me a long time ago, and I just started when I was 13. Everybody in school knew I'd finish my work really fast, and I would just get to drawing, and people would pay me to draw them stuff. And then I just started doing musicians, my favorite musicians. I think I drew Kurt Cobain when I was 13, and I think I'll have to post that. I keep meaning to get all of my stuff out and post it because I think I've never done anything better than that. And I was probably 13 or 14.
Wow, please do. I think you heard it here first on the Talk Louder podcast that
Stringfield's
Nikki's going to have to get to work and do some scanning and posting.
I know.
Yes, exactly.
Now I pretty much draw skulls. I love skulls. Skulls and feathers.
Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with skulls as well.
I think we all are. Yeah. I think you have to be to even be on the show and to listen to the show.
Yeah, right. That's my whole place looks like it's Halloween time, but Halloween every day.
My favorite era of Kiss is 74, where Gene just has the kind of like skull. It's kind of like a flat, mocked up, bad Halloween skull and cry like a Jolly Roger or something. And it's my favorite shit ever.
Right. It's like, keep all the demon armor. You can have all that. I want the
weird skull shirt that's like sewn on to the black. Oh my God. Crude and perfect.